No access speed. Absolutely not. Good day, good people. It's another fine day in the year of the Resolve. I was reminded, it is less than 24 hours before this thing is supposed to come out. I just got out of a voice call. And I've now realized, which is, and it's honestly not that bad because I will have a week off of like preparing a recording for next Monday because the first episode of what is this? What is this called again? This is no, it's Shadows of Valencia. I'm doing the tier list for New Mystery because we do that every time, and I forgot all about it until I was reminded on a voice call. So I mean, like, you know, it's time to do that. We gotta do that in between, because I also want to go through and check out our Shadows tier list and compare how the things have changed, how the landscape has changed. That being said, we're gonna get into it. And I'm excited, so let's do it. First and foremost, I have a list of, the people, because I've come to realize I'm gonna struggle with these names, aren't I? It is also going to be the test of how many names does Avi remember. So let's see how this goes, without further ado. There's no lights on, and I think we should probably get those on, and we'll get things started. Because some of these people drastically changed, like Palla. I don't know where she was last time. I do want to see where she was last time, because you know she's going to be up here. She's going to be all the way up here. For starters, we have Abel. D. Why? Because, you know, that's like Abel's essentially like who kept... You know, Palla was like, oh my gosh, the love of my life is Abel, but for real, it's Aurora. Yeah, Aurora. In fact, Roro's on here, right? He better be. He probably isn't on the... There he is, yeah, he's down here. he's gonna be super boosted, and you know why, because he's goated. We'll be adding a row below just because. I feel like we'll need one. Let's make it like gray. Well, that's not what I wanted. Here, make that that. I don't know what that's gonna be, but it's gonna be something. Clearly, we're gonna have someone lower than Abel. I don't think Abel's that bad. He might be the top of D, but you know, it is what it is. This is no, you're Astrum. You're Aaron. Aaron, I think. I think you were pretty decent early on. I am gonna put you a little bit higher because I think your story is sad, but I think you actually might be C, but you're at the top, like the very top of C. Astrum, not useful, but I think you did have use in one map, so I'm gonna stick you down here in the C's as well. Athena. I didn't really use her, but she's still a bad jank, and that's enough to get you in the B for bad jank tier. So she's still gonna be up here. But like in terms of usefulness, this time she was really kind of low. When we talk about usefulness, it's just gonna be the Pegasus Knight tier, to be honest. But for right now, you're gonna be here-ish. I'll put you in B, just because I have strong attachments to you. Bantu, you weren't you weren't crippling this time, so I'm gonna put you here, like low C. You are Barst? Well, something like that. You're Barst. I think you're higher than Bantu, but you're still pretty low. Beck, I did not use you. But you know what? I remember your name, so I am gonna put you here. But I think you weren't as good as you were last time, even though we even got you killed last time. But this time around, I just think you weren't good. You simply weren't good this time around. That's unfortunate. There's 3 of you. There are 3 of you, and I really don't know your names. There's these three dapper young lads. But you know, I really do love their design, so I'm gonna give them like a tier of their own, to be honest. It's gonna be low down, but they are the dapper lads. I do wonder if they're exclusive to this game. I'm sure they are. There'll be the dapper lads. They're gonna be at the bottom. Mainly because I don't have any opinion on them, but I do like their design. So let me get them, and I'll go through and I'll get their names later. I don't remember. I know based on his layout, his name starts with B, and that's like the only hint that I have. So I don't really know, y'all. B. All right, we'll look. Because I don't know for the life of me what his name is. He's not Wendell. I know Wendell. He has a similar hat. Oh, also this guy's name is Belf. Belf. I should have known. I don't see this guy anywhere. Does he really exist? Is he a playable character? Am I tripping? Maybe I'm tripping. I don't see him. Yeah, I don't. He's not real, you guys. He doesn't exist. No, he don't exist, y'all. He does not exist. Unless, oh no, he's Boa. He is from one of the new Arcanian chapters. I don't understand. Boa, but I know he exists. He's trash. He's below them. Didn't even remember your name. In fact, where's the who? So you know, there's this insert rule below. There's this. I don't remember what the theme song for this is. But it's a who are you? Who? I don't remember what the theme. That's some of one of those Law shows. It's not Law and Order. Who are you? Who? I don't remember. It might be NCIS. I don't know. But that's where he's going because I forgot his name. This is our guy Board. Once again, the Axe folks didn't have their real shine in this chapter, and I don't want to like it. I'm gonna put them right next to each other. Board is still probably gonna be with Athena just because, you know, they're goated together. Sita. This is gonna hurt me, but I honestly think Sita's probably back here in C. I'm gonna put her in B just because, like, she did some things, but in terms of, like, Sita, the Sita that we knew and loved last time, this one's some trash. Sita was not good in this game at all. You were one of the two. Or I think there's 3 people that we did not recruit. You're one of them. It was you, old red-haired boy, and Castor. I see Castor right there. You, ugh. I feel like I should know your name. But maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. So I'm not all that upset about it. So let's find him. He is Caesar. Yes, it is Caesar and something else. Caesar, and I feel like this guy's name starts with like a H or R. Is he Rad? Was it Caesar and Rad? I think I might remember your name. Is it Rad? I kind of want to confirm that now. Doodly-doo. Yes, his name's Rad. I remember Rad's name because Rad is just a dope name. Caesar is also a dope name, but I'll be real. I don't really want to do this to them, but like, I'm gonna give them a row all of their own as a you were too hard to get, and I couldn't care less. And I wanted to be like real hard to see, and I'm just gonna immediately stick Caesar and Hard right there because Caesar and Rad right there because I'll be frank, I don't think they're worth it. And you know what? Even when they came in, I think we immediately killed them off too. They just weren't good. And you know what? I think I can care less about them. F. LOL. I just think that it's perfect. The one who we cast off as a demon and we disliked just perished without us even seeing him in this game. He's the only character in this lot that we never even saw. He was in a village, we never saw him because the village got burned to the ground, and I think that's so funny. And I think that's sweet retribution. This is Kane. Kane, you can stick with Abel. You'll be higher than able. I'll put you in C. I think we've used you for a map, and I think you were okay on that map. I think that was the map that we were kind of scooting up through like a little valley to get up into an area where there were more enemies. We were getting shot down, not shot down, but shot at by the big old shooty instruments. Y'all know what I'm talking about, but I think that's where you were. Catria. We're gonna start putting our Pegasus in the S tier because I'll be frank, Catria. And I'm gonna like pay close attention with ranking these homies. EST's probably gonna go higher than her, but I think she's higher than Minerva. And I'll be frank, EST I think should be higher than Palla, but Palla has been lucky. Every time I'm like, well, Palla's not gonna be able to take out this boss, unfortunately, so we're gonna have to find somebody else to do it. Palla says, nah. She said, hold on for just 1 second. Let me show you what I can do. And I'm like, okay, yeah, better believe. But like, spoiler alert, they're all gonna be up there. I do need to see how we're gonna fill out this A rank though. You. Oh man, I should know your name. Cecile. That's right. Are you Cecile or Cecilia? I think you're just Cecile. Let's check. You are just Cecile, right? Yes, Cecile. So you're gonna go, I think. You were not as useful as them, but I honestly love your design a whole lot, and that's gonna keep you out of C. I'm gonna put you at the back here. Sita should honestly be above her, and you should be above her. Cord, hang out with your girly. Just because I just like them together. Cord didn't do a whole bunch. He stayed up for a couple of maps, but then it was just like, I need the Pegasus Cord. So I was like, you stay safe, stay with your wife. You love to see it, love them to bits. Daros. I'm gonna actually put you down here, Daros. Just because I loved your utility a little bit more in the previous game, and when you lost your ability to walk on water, I was like, I'm not using you. You have no use for me. Just like when Beck lost his ability to be in control of like the garrison little thingamadoodle. Dice. Your name is just goated, so yeah, that automatically, you're a gambler just like me too, you're gonna hang out with Cord. I think y'all would be good buddies. Dolph, you're here to show the world. Just because of your name, you're gonna stay out of C because I love Dolph Ziggler. And you were honestly useful in some of the maps, so I do think you need to be above everybody here. I think I may be being too harsh on Sita. No, I'm not. In fact, I feel like Dolph has been in more like, I'm confident that you're gonna be okay after this moments than Sita has. So, I'm gonna put him above Sita. Not for nothing. Drog, you were great earlier. Didn't do too much later, but you still, I think, are over here. I think you're gonna actually be a little bit above Cecile. She's hot. No, go up there. I think, because we didn't really use her, but I wanted to. And I don't want to put her in, like, down here, and this is just gonna be a bias pick. So, add a row above. And we're just gonna put you here. Useless, but I'm simping. And it'll be pink. Or like this maroonish color. Yeah, that'll do. Yep. I'm not even gonna say useless. I'm gonna say didn't use. Cause I think she could have been okay. She could have been just fine. But she is hot, and that is 100%. In fact, where's Shima? Shima. Oh. Shima. R's P. P is there. Rad, Samson. There you are. Didn't really use, but is hot. When we did use her, hotter than... I don't know. This is just my bias tier, but like, I'm gonna put you... If I actually had to rank her, she'd probably be in C. If she didn't come in so late, and we had time to build her, and I had the funds to build her, she might have been closer to like B or closer to Dolph. But since we didn't, she's got to be here. And let me just double check to make sure it's Shima and I'm not tripping. Sheena. Whoops. Close enough. Elise. We didn't use you. And I'm not gonna simp for you. I don't know if there's like a really like... I don't think there's a fair way to do this, so we'll just do that. They're the clerics. I guess. I think the 4 of them will just go in there. They can have a green one, cause like I don't feel like good about just sticking them in the. They didn't really do anything. We get to them. We'll get to them. In terms of which of the clerics I like the best, I guess we'll see. I'll tell you what. It's probably Maria, just because every time her name comes up, I'm like, Ave Maria. Who on earth are you? Whoever this is, he has like a dot. I don't know if y'all can see it. There's like a dot above his head in his PNG. Yikes. I have no idea who this is. It's probably someone from one of these special extra chapters. So let's find out. His name at least starts with a E. He's not on the main list, so he's got to be in these extra chapters. Yeah, I don't even see him in these extra chapters. Hold on, who is this man? Downloadable chapters is probably in here. Hold on. Board is in one of these. Board and Court is in one of these downloadable chapters? Now hold on a minute. Maybe I gotta get these. He is Arlen. Who are you? Who? It might be NCIS? I don't know. That being said, Aramia, as much as I want to say, but I'm simping, I'm not really simping for Aramia, for real. She's not the simp one, so she's gonna be in the here. She's not an FLOL, because that's just for caster. EST, not an F, I just set her there for a moment. Here, you go up there. You might be at the top of that because when we get to Palla, clearly, we know that there's gonna be another tier added. Like, for real. This man's the mage. I don't know if I ever actually used you for a chapter, but when it comes to mages in this game, they are pretty good. So I'm gonna put you like here in terms of, it probably would have been useful. I still love your design. I think you would have been alright. This is Chris, and Chris. They really don't need to be here, because I added Aurora specifically. I added Aurora specifically. So this is not, it's not Anna. It is Fina, and I think Fina's actually going to be the first person that we're going to stick in A. Now, Fina, we didn't bring a whole bunch. In fact, we barely brought Fina like at all. Pardon me, let me actually speak into the microphone. I went to grab my water. As I was saying, Fina wasn't used very often at all. Let's put it right here. But Fina was, not useful. She was very useful. I'm gonna take it back. She was useful when I needed to cheese something. Especially, and I think when we get to Militia, she's gonna be sitting up there too. Cause she's a part of the cheese squad. Whenever I needed to like do something specific to make sure that we were able to get something done, she was a part of those plans almost every time. So just because of that utility, she's gotta be an A. This is, oh, I should know your name. I should know your name, shouldn't I? Okay, so the guy next to him, oh man, I really don't remember his name either. So it's before G. F. Garnef. I don't think his name starts with a a G, so it must start with an F, right? I know his face. He's usually with Norn. It's gotta start with an F. I never used him. I gotta look. Let me peek. Frey. Frey and Frost are the next two. Frey, I don't want to say who are you because, like, at least I recognized you for real, but, like, I never used you. Never, ever. In fact, you're kind of just a paralog boy. I'm gonna actually put you in who are you. Who. Frost. I think you look cool, so I'm gonna put you above Abel. Garneth. We never got to play as him. How do I feel about Garneth as a villain? He always comes back. I usually see him for one chapter, and then he just dies. Man, but I guess he can... He's... man, I don't know. He's not a who are you. I'm gonna put him in terms of, like, villainy. He can be there, I guess. Sure. This is Gordon. Good boy Gordon. He's not, as useful. I don't know if... he was our guy last time. He was our baby boy. And you know what? Wherever I put his brother, I think, but I call him... I call him his son. What is his name? Ryan, right? Wherever I would put Ryan, and we didn't use Ryan a whole bunch, but I love Ryan as just a little adorable dork. That's actually Aurora's little brother. B for brother, so I'm gonna stick the two green-haired brothers together. Hardin. We didn't get to play as him this time, but he was a villain. I think, like, in his final moments, I'm gonna stick him in B. Just because the whole time I was like, not Hardin. That's my dude, Hardin. And you know what? He let Palla beat him. So I'm gonna give him the W there. He'll be a B there. Okay, so I hate this. I really do hate this. All of me wants to put him there. However, there are a couple instances where I can not vividly remember, but I can, like, recall in some of the synapses of my brain that Horace was okay. That Horace did alright. And it's, I think, really enough to keep him out of the nobodies in D. And really, when I look at C, they're also full of nobodies, which really, really sucks. And since he was, like, with us most of the time, I feel like I have to put him above them. Oh, no. I gotta reorganize this. Because he has to. As much as I... If I'm talking about usefulness, he should probably be somewhere in this mix. But the fact that he's Horace, I'm still sticking him at the bottom of B. You guys can be like, oh my gosh, Horace, he's a Team B player. Whatever. Hate it. Jake? Jake, yes, this is Jake. It wasn't useful. Stick him with Beck. George with a J, Jorge. I think I'm gonna use him for one map, I guess. I also love his design, so I'm gonna put him in C, I guess. He's gonna be above Garneth, so that'll do. You. D. I wish I didn't have to bring you places, especially that final map. But here you are. I'm sticking you in D, though. Katarina. I'm gonna put you up. And I think I might put you in A. Just because when I switched Aurora to become a Pegasus Knight, or a Pegasus Rider, or a Wyvern Rider, whatever we turned her into, you were okay. You were alright. I'm actually going to put you above here because I guess you were utilized a little bit more. You were able to tank out, not tank out hits, but you were able to dish out some magic attacks, which did take out, like, a couple people when I needed you to take them out, and you were like, okay, I'll do it. And occasionally I remember you getting crits where I was like, alright, we love that, we love that. So she was actually a very good, like, magic utility character. And just in terms of the paralogs, yes, the paralogs, I liked her in the paralogs. And I kind of just like her story overall, from the prologue to actually joining the army, so I'm here for that. So yeah, you're gonna go up there. Klein, you're at the top of here. Look, miss me with everything about that. What is her, let me like get her real name, so like from now on we can call her real name. Because I don't think it's Klein. Like her official localized, it's Clarice, I believe, which is also like, hello Clarice. That's like a real thing, so I'm here for Clarice. But she's Klein in my eyes. Lena, there you go. I always remember Lena. I like Lena a lot more than, Elise. And if I'm being real, if I were like actually just putting her here, I feel like if we had her the whole time, she might really be close to A. Because she's got good magic utility, and she's a good healer, staff utility, all that. Lind, we didn't really use you, but, I'm gonna put you in Bede. I know, like, this is, like, where I'm usually putting the people that we haven't used, but I still kind of like. But I feel like she's in Bede just because if we did use her, I think we could have gotten her, like, to a B-level player. To get off a hit if we needed to. You are... a character. You sure are. You sure are a guy, aren't you? We just did L. Malicia's there, so you were probably starting with an L or an M? Maybe? No, you're Luke. You're Luke, right? Yes, you're Luke. You're one of our starting guys. No. Well, you know what? I like his character. I'm gonna put him here. Luke was our guy, who was, all the ladies love me, la 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 la, Luke. Oh yes, I'm that man. Your name starts with M, and it's something like, Melicin or Macellin or something. I'm gonna have to peek to get you right completely, but I know who you are. Massillin. I think I said that last, so I'm gonna actually say yeah. And I think we used you a couple of times, and I think I was just like, you know what, you're a backup unit just in case something fishy happens, and I don't feel like going back. But I think we saved everybody, except for the 3. Except for the 3, as in these 2 and LOL Caster. Militia, she's going to A. Not a shadow of a doubt, and I don't think she's higher than you, and I think honestly she's probably higher than you because the stabs were just on point. Given a little bit more time, you might have been a little bit higher and you guys were probably just on the same playing field, but like, she's there. And you know what? I really like her as a character. I think her delusional, like, Prince Marth thing, and I think Jessica also mentioned this in, her actual comment, as that Militia, and is her actual localized name Militia? It's Marisha. Or something. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. I just kind of like her a lot. And her ending kind of like, potentially meant like, oh my gosh, she's in there with the Vandals and the other people, and Rickard also kind of disappeared, and they might have disappeared together. And they might be like what's up, girl? They might like a little Bonnie and Clyde. I kind of love that, so I think that's enough, honestly, to push her to S. She was with us most of the time. Militia was one of my favorites. She had fun supports. I'm with that. Maria is probably my favorite of the healers. Not just because of Ave Maria. Lena, I really love her to death, but Maria's just fun. Maria's just a fun homie. Martha, not for nothing. A. Bottom of A. Most of the game, low B. In the final few chapters, he earned A. Just in terms of getting the Falchion and getting a couple of big hits when I needed him to, and not dying when I needed him to. And it's really not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And Marth finished strong for me, so I'm gonna actually, I think Marth earns A. That is probably far above where he was in the past game, but this Marth is not an evil, bloodthirsty warlord. He is actually the kind and caring Marth that we know. Mathis. Bottom of D. I kind of hate Mathis. I don't hate Mathis, but like, no. he wasn't useful, he's whatever. Merrick, I think we used a couple of times, and I'm okay with Merrick. And I think Merrick's above all of you. I think he has to be above you, but I think he's actually lower than Cecile, because I think Cecile, because we were trying to build Cecile, did a little bit more work. I'm gonna put you in B. I think if we had more chapters to use you, you probably would have been at the top of here or in here. But because towards the end we started to have to bring specific people, you know what? Screw it, you're above Sita. I really feel like I'm being hard on Sita, but like, yo, Sita doesn't, she really just wasn't popping off this game. Midia, we used you a couple of times actually. So I think I'm gonna put you in B, but I think you're gonna be, just because I would put her here, but I know that you guys are gonna be like, oh my gosh, look at them, they're almost together. Oh, if only Lynn was a little bit higher and Astrum. Yeah, I'm gonna actually put you a little bit higher, just so that you're not next to Horus. I'm gonna put you here. I'm gonna put you here. Maybe here? Really, maybe. I'm gonna stop there, though. I think that's about right for Midia. She really should be. That is about. It's higher. She's upper mid right now. You are. Admittedly, part of me was like, you shouldn't be in the S tier with the rest of the Pegasus homies, and I don't think that you should be. I think you are the worst of them. Just because your stats. I think you got a really unlucky stat push. But occasionally you got crits where I wanted you or needed you to get crits. I think that might, just because your speed was trash. Your speed was really, really bad. Like, so bad that I'm gonna put you in A. You might sneak into S, but like, you're gonna be an A for right now. But I think you were at the top of A, because of your Hakler. You're an A, you're an S, 100%, and you're there. You're at the bottom of S. We didn't have you for a long time, but you, and it's just because, you know what? You got a crit on the boss without a triangle attack, so I acknowledge you for that. Putting our ones up for Nagi, for a 1,000,000%. A 1,000,000%. This is Navarre, not the fake Navarre. Real Navarre. I don't think we actually used him this time around. We didn't use him that much last time around either. I'm gonna stick him down here. I like his design, but I don't know. We didn't use you, but I actually do kind of sim for you. I love your design. Nina. We couldn't use you, but man, are you close to the top of this. Since day one, I've been like, Nina. That's our guy, Agma. I'm doing a lot better on the names this time around. Admittedly. Way better than I thought I was going to do. Agma is... hang out there with the rest of them, to be honest. There's the... he admittedly could have been good, but we just didn't have an opportunity to use him. That's the case with a lot of this game, because with hard mode on this game, it was like, you gonna need some good flyers, won't you? You gonna need some good flyers. Every so often, I'm like, maybe we should just play normal, normal mode with, watching me so we can just go wild, but I don't want it to be too easy, you know? Palla. Alright, well, we're at this point. At or above, we all knew that this was coming here. 1,000,000%. You better believe. And Aurora, we're just gonna get you now. Aurora was fun. Aurora was our blind homie. Maybe at one point we'll have Aurora versus Toph in the AWE, because I think Toph just made her like real standout performance in the AWE, pinning the champion 1, 2, 3. We might have Aurora versus the Blind Bandit, a battle of the blind. I think that might be neat. As we keep going down, you are one of the gentlemen. Your name starts with an R. One of them is like Rodriguez or Roberto or something. One of them has like a Spanish name. If you were Rickard, I think this one probably is R, because it's R-O, something that sounds a little bit Spanish. I'm gonna have to peek because I don't remember either of their names for real, It is Roberto, so surprisingly enough, Roberto's name, I kind of remembered. I thought it was Rodriguez, but it is what it is. And the other one is Raiden, like the Raiden Shogun, so he's at the bottom. Not that I don't love the Raiden Shogun, but like, I don't know, he's just at the bottom of the three. I kind of remember Belt's name, I more so remember Roberto's, but I didn't remember his at all. Rickard. I think you're cool. I still, like, love this as a little OTP, a little Bonnie and Clyde couple. I think that would be really cute. That being said, we've never used him. I'm just glad he's not dead this time. You can go above Garneth, that's fine. You are... Samson, his name starts with S or an R. It's not Rad. I don't know. I really don't know his name. And I know that he was one of our starting homies. He was a part of our platoon, but I don't remember his name. It is our Roderick. It is Roderick. Ugh. I hate that I remembered Luke but forgot about Roderick. He's gotta be down here. I also didn't really love his... He wasn't great, so I'm gonna put him... He's gonna be below it. I like Mathis more because at least Mathis has this character. I don't want to fight! Stay away from my sister! This is... No, this isn't Samson. Roro. Roger. This is Roger. Never mind. We didn't use Roger, and I think we could have used Roger. But I think Roger is the best out of all. You know what? Roger's a fellow. You know what? I love Roger. He's relatable. My fellow simp. Get him. He can have some US Aviator blue too. Get that man's on there. That's my guy. 1,000,000%. We love Roger out here. Roro. Look, the spirit of Roro lives on in Roro, so like they're my OT3. Simply because, you know, his spirit shares the body of Aurora, so, you know, I'm here for that. They wee-hee-hee all night long. We have... Oh, no. Rocher? I'm pretty sure that's Rocher. He's one of the 4 members of the Wolf Guard. Alright, does every one of the 4 members of the Wolf Guard, start with a letter that's after R? Rocher, Violin, Wolf, and the other one, Sedgar. Yeah, all of them are R or later. I didn't realize that until I'm looking at them in this alphabetical order. You. I didn't use any of them this time. I could have used Wolf. I even reclassed Wolf. I think they're more useful than you lot, so I'm gonna stick probably all of them here. That one is Rocher. This one is Sedgar. Wolf is here, and Wolf is actually gonna be here because I know we used Wolf, like, once. And he was okay, so I'm gonna put him, like, here. He's probably more useful than you, to be honest. Maybe not. Once again, if we had time, he probably would have been. Where's Violin? Oh, here he is. Let's stick him with the rest of his bros. Alright, back. So we are almost done here, actually. Which is interesting. Here's the deal. I know that we didn't use you last time. And I know your name, Sampto, I think, is the one after you. Or something like that. Something like that. Sampto and then Sirius. I don't know your name. It probably... Is it Samuel? Maybe? Oh, this is Samson. Oh, that's my bad. I should have known. We didn't really... We had him. We didn't really use him. I should have known. He's the one who's crushing on Sheena, who's really Shima in my book. Put him in D. Everybody trying to steal my girl. Actually, put him in C. He's alright. He was more reasonable than Sheena. We were able to get him onto our side, and then Sheena was like, "Oh, so you're working with them now, Parrish, you filthy casual." This is, I think, Samto is his name. Whatever. He's a poser. We hate posers. Put him in D. Sirius. Sirius is somebody who I don't think should have been used the entire time, but was used the entire time. His stat growths weren't that great, but every so often he was used to get a hit that I needed, so I'm gonna put him low B. He can be at the bottom of the used characters in B. Tiki. I think we only used Tiki for like 1 or 2 maps, but once again, the 1 or 2 maps that we used Tiki in, I think is enough to get her to A. Right next to Marmar. Admittedly, probably 1 above Marmar. But once again, we only used Tiki like 2 or 3 times. She was underleveled. If we got more levels on Tiki, would have been fine. But we got Nagi. It was not really it is what it is at that point. She's a superior one, and she got the crit on the boss, so it is what it is. Thomas. Doesn't go in F. In fact, this Thomas gave us a killer bow. We didn't actually use him, so I'm gonna put him in B. He really, just for his name, it bothers me, but it's not spelled the same, so it is what it is. I don't know anything about his character, so I'm gonna put him to the bottom of C, to be honest. You are Warren. Yes. So Warren is gonna be... We've been going for 41 minutes? That's crazy. Warren, I guess I'm gonna stick him with the rest of the lads over here. Yeah. That's fine. Wendell, I think we used for a while for heals, but not for that long, so I'm gonna stick him here. I'm gonna stick him below you. You should probably be up a little bit more, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna stick you like here. You deserved it. You were there for a long time. And I love your mask. And some of your supports are pretty fun. I can't wait to see who you are in this next game. Who are you? Rise. Honestly, I knew who he was, but I was like, I don't remember your name. I think we used for you for a little while, too. Oh, did you make Aurora bald? Is that what happened? Did you shave Aurora's head? Just for that, you're kind of goated. I'm gonna stick you up here. Because that's funny. You, I don't know. I liked you in the first game, and then this game, I don't know why. I don't know. I kind of got soured on you. And we just didn't use you. D. You. Ymir. You're also gonna be... we didn't really use you either. I'm gonna stick you, like, here. Because you still are, like, a tank and you're a little crit machine, but, like, we didn't really use you. You two, I know that you guys have names, and they both start with Y, and one of you was, like, Bello or something? I don't remember their names, so I'm gonna have to look them up. I'm gonna be real. The twins. Well, that's a different name than I'm used to. Yulia? Like Julia, but with a Y. We used you like once or twice. I think you might have been used in the great one of the great escape maps. Where I needed someone to be a staff utility person, so I think we brought you along a couple of times, so I'm actually gonna put you higher in the B. I don't think we used the boy, and I don't even see the boy. Maybe his name that's localized doesn't actually start with a Y. Jubello. So Julia and Jubello. Man, I don't know. We didn't use him, but like, we could've. He was in like one map, he can be there. Sure. Okay, that's it. That's our tier list. I'm gonna double check to see, because if I have the tier list saved for Shadow Dragon, I can just pull it up in a new tab. That's the engaged one. I hope I saved it. There's an AWE one. Oh, these are in alphabetical order. I don't know where I would have saved it. We might just have to pull up the video. Yeah, we'll pull up the video. So give me 1 second. I guess I can pull up in this tab, right? Shadow Dragon tier list. I wonder if it's saved on my, oh, there's somebody else's actual tier list. Give me mine. We did do one, right? I'm certain we did. Tier. AWE. Shadow Dragon. Yeah, we did it October 23rd. And we'll go here. The Side Eyes tier list. Oh, we sure did. These are your favorite characters. Yeah, here we are. Oh yeah, because I guess there were way less characters in Shadow Dragon. Here, let me full screen this. And just grab a screenshot. We have a shame tier list? Oh, that's funny. That is kind of funny. I don't know what the best way to do this is. Here, give me 1 second. I'm gonna come here, do this, and if I just change sources to this, yes. Okay, cool. Alright, that was a seamless transition. So here's what we have in terms of that. Look at alright. Freaking Zane was all the way with Sita at the very top. Nagi and Norn are still very high. We get a Smirk tier list for Marth, interestingly enough. Tiki was S, Wolf was S, Athena S, EST still in the S rank. Oh, where's Palla in this one? Look at Palla all the way down in C. Oh my gosh. She was in C, y'all. And Katri was higher than her. She was in B. My gosh. Oh my gosh. We have 4 in the NA for like, whatever. We didn't use them, actually. Or didn't save them, I guess. Ave Maria was still there. Elise was still there. They're now just in the Cleric Sage. Who had the biggest dip? Oh, you know what? I put my mans again in the S tier. Roger was an S here. He wasn't an S for, and I can flip-flop between the two, by doing this. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't an, wasn't an S, but I gave him his own one. I was like my fellow sim, so he's still at the top. You love to see it. Transition back over here. Cordon board all the way up there. Unfortunately, that's not the same anymore. Let's see. Gordon was an S tier because he was like, yes, sir! My guy, I miss him. We didn't actually get a chance to use, the old man, did we? What was his name? Oh, no. What is the name of our like, commanding officer? I already forget. Love him to bits, though. Astrum and Midia were together. Boa was in this one. Maslin, whatever his name is pronounced, he, I think, had the biggest glow up. Maslin and Dolph, I think, had a decent glow ups, but I think Maslin had the biggest one. He was D before, and now he is, I think, B. Let's see. Anybody else who I'm looking at here? I mean, Palla had the biggest glow up, clearly. She was in Siege, and now she's at the special rank at the very top. She was our cord this time around. Julian, I think, went down. Daros. You. Is Caesar? Is that Caesar in B? Caesar shouldn't be there. No. Caesar's down in D. Caesar and Julian look real similar. Julian, I think, has a better haircut in this one. Not Julian. George. Jorge. And in terms of everybody else, Lind, I think, suffered quite a bit because we didn't get a chance to use Lind. We had other mages that I was like, well, you came in here, but we have great our main character, our created character was a mage, so that ruined Lind, unfortunately. If we didn't have like Aurora starting off as a mage, if Aurora started off as a flyer, it would have been like, well, whoop-de-doo. Cool. And we still do have a simping the list. And I'll be frank, I think the only two consistent souls in the just simping list are Norn and Norn and Nina, right? Norn and Nina, yes, but we have some new additions, and we have some people who moved out of the simping list to go somewhere else. Like the homie. Nagi just actually went to the yes list. Because we used her. Which was great. And she crit the boss, so I was like, that's even better. And you know what? Palla dodging the boss to save her own life. Goated. That's our list. I think Sita was, I think, I feel like the worst. In terms of she was peak last time and then dipped quite a bit. But not even quite a bit. I think I still put her in B, but I think that was a generous B. Cord was at the very top, but he was our main character, so it is what it is. This time around, I was like, hey, just hang out with your wife and don't die. Poor Harden, man. He was A, and now he's the villain. What a turnaround. What a turnaround. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing rendered because this is, once again, it is 7 p.m. the day before. That is our tier list for Fire Emblem, New Mystery of the Emblem. Of course, at the very top is our girls. Aurora and Palla. Palla deserves to be at the very top because Aurora said, or rather Aurora said, after you, you are number one. Wee! And to make things nice and kosher, let's double check one more again to see what Roro's real name is. He's Legion, right? Yes, he is Legion. We are Legion. We hee hee. Legion clones. I like Roro a little bit better, just because it fit in so nicely with Aurora, and we got Aurora's axe, and it was just all so beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, next week actually starts. It would have been this week, but I was reminded in a voice chat. I was like, hey, what about the tier list? This is our tier list from top to bottom. Oh, actually, before we do that, there was on this other tab. This isn't quite the full tier list. At the very bottom, I think, there's a Shame. Yeah, go back down. Look at Shame! You know what? Thomas, I didn't even realize Thomas was in the previous game. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't know. I thought he was a new character. Thomas is down there. So was Horace. Disgusting. And, Castor. Castor remains in a you suck. Thomas, I was like, alright, well, you're not Gen 1 Thomas, so it is what it is. And I actually used Horace this time, so I was like, if I'm going to be fair, he should be higher up. That being said, that's all she wrote. That was our past tier list. You see how people have jumped and moved and schmooved all around. EST remained in the S tier, and Tiki, I believe, remained in the S tier too, unless Tiki was in A. Yeah, Tiki was in A. There weren't a lot of people in the S tier. I tried to, like, limit the S tier. And ended up limiting the A tier too. My gosh. A lot of Bs, and I think that might be for the best. We had our, like, peak characters, and when we had a peak character, you knew it was a peak character. Sita, I think, is the most surprising that wasn't, like, peak this time, but there it is from top to bottom, from heart to Man, you were too hard to get and I couldn't care less. And of course my favorite, who are you? Who? Can we end the episode with that? Next week, we will actually be doing Shadows of Valencia. Get excited for it. I'm very excited for it. I know a lot of you have been actually waiting to go into Shadows of Valencia because a lot of you hold it in very high esteem, so I'm excited to get into it. Well, I've gotten into it a little bit, and it's very nice. But I'm not gonna be a week ahead, but like, next week you'll see what I've recorded this week. Toodaloo, Flight Crew. Thanks for watching.